Okay, speed and agility or strength and conditioning. Which one should you allot your time to? I keep getting asked this, parents pulling me over asking me this. Okay, and I understand online you got one side of the spectrum coaches who bash the other side, right? The answer is both. But you got to find out what you need to allot the majority of your time to. So I'll try to explain this as quickly as possible. Okay, cool looking drills, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, really fancy, cool looking drills, ladder drills and certain speed and agility things. A lot of people are going to gravitate more towards that because strength and conditioning has a bad background. Parents are afraid of their kids using barbells, certain things like that. So, like I said, answers both. Here's the deal though. On one side of the spectrum, there's a lot of kids who are spending their time doing those drills. And they don't have a general strength base, meaning that they can't put a lot of force into the ground. Now, some kids are just genetically explosive. Most kids aren't. The best way to take the kids who aren't and make them more explosive is to make them stronger. Why? Because power is a percentage of strength. Without having strength, there's no potentiation for power. So this is what we do in our facility. And I always say there's no such thing as football strength, basketball strength, tennis, golf. There's general strength. Now, once an athlete, and I always use the term knocking on the door, meaning you got to take into consider, you got to have considerations. It doesn't need to be exactly that number, but some kids are taller, right? Longer levers, more range of motion, a lot harder. But a good rule of thumb, and in our facility, I strive to get every athlete up to a 1.5 times body weight front squat, bench press. If they can power clean. If not, 2.5 times body weight trap bar deadlift. And most importantly, being able to do chin-ups. I know Joe DeFranco, he talked about how they had a system at DeFranco's where it was basically vertical jump, trap bar deadlift, and chin-ups. And he talked about the guys who could trap bar deadlift 3 times their body weight and do close to 30 chin-ups were all the guys who could run 4.340s. And as it went up to 4.4s, those are your guys that maybe 2.7 times body weight and 24 chin-ups. And your 4.7, 4.8 guys was 19, 20 chin-ups. I don't know if those were the exact numbers, but why chin-ups? It's relative strength, power to body weight ratio, meaning, hey, I got strong on the bench press, I got a strong clean, strong squat, but can you pull your own engine through space? That transfers over into sprinting, right? Do I need to get my body composition down? Do I need to get lighter so I can carry my engine speed? So those are some good general rule. I always say general strength. Well, what is that? That's full range of motion. That's a deep squat, a real squat, not this sport specific squats you're seeing where guys are doing knee bends. And I don't mean to bash that, but here's my thought process on that stuff too is once you have that general strength base, now you get to a lot more energy to focusing on time practicing, working on your craft. The number one thing is practicing your sport. Sports aren't played with barbells unless you're a lifter athlete, right? I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people who play football, basketball, baseball. Every athlete needs that general strength base. But once you can do that, I always say, then you can experiment with the position specific stuff. Well, that's where you see these guys who don't go full range of motion on their squats. They do like the knee bend. I always say, well, why wouldn't you just do a high handle trap bar deadlift? To me, that makes more sense. So let me jump to the other side of the spectrum. Now, here's the problem though, is this is the problem with strength. One of the best tools, but it does have a law of diminishing returns. Once somebody can hit those numbers, spending the entire off season in the weight room to try to add 20 pounds onto your clean won't transfer to the field. It's not going to do it. that's where you need to allot more time. And that's where I think really spending more time on working on, I always say, working on the single leg, your interaction with the ground, those ground contacts, your change of direction, or whatever, transfers over to your sport. That's where you need to work on that strength that you have, your ability to apply it in the transfer into your sport. That's where that becomes so important. So that doesn't mean, I'm not saying just get strong, then go do that. You need to be constantly working on both, but you need to monitor the stress of what you're doing more of, what you're doing less of, those things. So just remember, the guys, like I said, a lot of those guys who are out there doing that speed and agility, their coach can only do so much with them. At some point, you're gonna have to progress your physical attributes, and you're gonna have to train. That doesn't mean that you gotta just become a power lifter or a weightlifter, right? I hope this helps somebody. If I can help anybody, reach out to me. My best advice to any athlete is go to your coaches, get a postseason analysis every season. Ask your coaches, hey, what do you think I need to work on? Okay? What do you think I need to work on? And then let's assess you and see, hey, you need to get faster. Well, maybe you do need a speed coach to teach you how to run, but acceleration, I'm a firm believer. Acceleration, I can make a kid faster by getting him to squat. Once I get you squat properly, then I'm going to progress you and get you up to a 1.5 times body weight front squat or 2 times body weight back squat, knocking on those doors. There's your acceleration. So if I can help anybody, reach out to me. Thought I'd just shoot this video. A lot of people have been asking. I'm not bashing anybody. The answer is you need both. Anybody who speaks in absolutes probably still thinks they know everything. And the more I continue to learn, the more I realize I don't know. M3 love.